Welcome to Global Take, presented by SchoolRubric, a show about the international teaching experience. Teaching internationally is one of the best decisions you can make as an educator. In this show, we will meet teachers and administrators from around the globe living and working internationally. Our hope is that their stories and experiences will inspire you to explore the world of education. We will learn about all aspects of international teaching, from becoming an international teacher to what countries are the best fit for you, to the challenges of being away from your home country. Come take this unforgettable journey to the world of international schools with Global Take, presented by SchoolRubric.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Global Take. I'm Nick DeForest, back here again with the fifth part of this six-part series that all centers on a global playbook, really highlighting a lot of the contributors and the people that put a lot of time into this book in each episode. So this is number 5. It's about competition, and we're here on SchoolRubric with my buddy, Matt Fleming. Bring you in. Hey, Matt.
Hi, bud. How are you?
Hey, little different for those of you that know us, right? We do the podcast together with no video, but now it's the two of us again, but everyone can see us.
Yeah. Great to be back. Another Monday night. We're chatting.
Yeah, it's great. Put a face to the name for a lot of people, but also, you were the main contributor to chapter 5. So you contributed to the introduction, one of the long parts. So that's why you're here today as we talk about your section, but also a couple of the other people that contributed. So yeah, you're in Budapest. We see that. And you got a great program. You do a lot of competitions, a lot of hosting, and we'll get to all that. But I want to start with what you wrote at the very beginning. So I'm going to read it. It says that or you believe that having a variety of competitive opportunities for all the different levels of our sports teams is one of the unique aspects of your program. So tell us a little bit more about why you think that aspect is so important.
Yeah, for sure. And well, first, I just want to say thanks for including me on this. I think it's an honor, and it's a pleasure, of course, to contribute to the book and work with you in this other avenue, and happy to be a part of this. So about the variety of competitions. So here in Budapest, we're in a unique situation because, currently there's 7 international schools in Budapest that we, including AISB. So that's 6 schools that we can schedule competitions with. The thing about these schools is that they're different varieties of sizes. We're probably the bigger of most of them. I think the British school is comparable in size. So our school's our current enrollment's about 940. That's all the way through. But we have some schools that are a little smaller in the 200 to 300 student range. So it's a variety of options for us to schedule, from varsity down to our middle school boys C teams in basketball. So this year we're carrying a third team in middle school, our C team. Mm-hmm. They get not as many practice opportunities, but we've been able to plug them into some competitive situations, which has been great. The kids have been receptive to it. The parents have been happy. The coach has been happy. So it's really worked out. So, I think those competitions, those opportunities we get, it's a lot of fun. It can be challenging because you're not sure what you're going to get yourself into sometimes if those kids are going to be ready. But I think the response overall has been very positive. People are happy that we're making these opportunities for everybody. We try to balance it as much as we can, but you can't always do that, of course, because some teams end up getting more opportunities because there's more teams available to play. Right. So it all depends on each team and how you can make it happen.
Yeah, I think worrying that every team gets equal competition levels is just not really possible in our situation, right?
Yeah, right. Because we might be playing, but a team down the street that has a small population, or maybe they're just developing their program and they're getting kids out. They want to get basketball going, for example. So they've got it going. It's popular in PE. Maybe they're doing other things within their school, running an intramural program or some kind of after-school club, and so they want to take it further and start getting some competitions. So we face that with our B teams a lot and our C teams as well as our JVs. And sometimes we end up on the winning side. Sometimes we don't. So it kind of just depends. And what's helpful about it too is for the other schools and us, it gives everybody a chance to kind of find out what they are or where they are in their level. And the feedback we usually get when I talk to the coaches afterwards is they appreciate that. They appreciate anything we can get, I think, for the most part, in terms of getting games. It's not as easy as if we were somewhere else and you could schedule league games all the time, like week in and week out, right? We don't have that, so we have to make do with what we can and what's available.
Sure. Well, I think a lot of people out there that are watching are really realize how lucky you are there with 7 schools in your town to get these games. So that's pretty unique, just right there.
Yeah, and I think another important part of that is having good relationships with the other schools and the other ADs, so we can gauge each other, but be honest with each other and trust the information we're passing back and forth about what we think our particular teams are they're about to play. Or if we're going to try to schedule, it's important for me to know, like, okay, what's the caliber of a particular team so we can match up appropriately, because we're lucky. We have, several A's and B teams and varsity and junior varsity. So having that trust, though, is important, and good relationships. I've been fortunate to work with the folks here in Budapest, the other schools, the British schools and the Christian school for quite a while now, so that we feel comfortable in just being honest with each other about where we are. And sometimes we get it, for the most part, I think we get it right, but sometimes we guess wrong, and that happens too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, great. Well, let's move on to somebody else, another section of the book, or another chapter. In this, it's competitive versus inclusive programs. And we're going to watch a video of Gil. Gil tells the story that he tells in the book. So just enjoy Gil's story here for about a minute.
I had talking about sports and cutting players, I had a volleyball game and a football game going on, and I had 2 parents come up to me, a dad who was complaining about our new policy of keeping all the kids about a football game. Our team tied 4-4, but maybe if the better players played more, probably would have been a different result. Maybe 10 minutes later, a woman comes over to me, says, I love that we have 18 kids at the volleyball game. Our only issue is we don't have enough uniforms. And I kind of apologized and said, I didn't respect this many girls, but we'll get them out, all that sort of thing. This policy is great, Gil, look at all the kids. And then she walks away, and then I think to myself, you can never really win as an AD because that couple was married. So what are you going to do about that?
Yeah. So no matter what you do, there's going to be people that like what you're doing and dislike it. But right there in the same household for Gil, it's pretty unique situation. So I wonder what that was like back at home after the competition was over. But yeah. So competitive versus inclusive program. I think all of us, struggle or think about that all the time. So I want to know how you manage that at AIS Budapest, and really, are there kids that want to play that don't find a place at AIS Budapest?
So I think for the most part, particularly in the middle school, we have had to cut. So unfortunately, sometimes in the past in like middle school basketball, we have, because the numbers were so huge. This year, what we've done too is we moved to allocating space and getting coaches for those particular days and times. We can make it practice time for the C team, for example. So that's only once a week. It's on Fridays. But if the middle school, let's say, for example, we have one team that practices on a middle school day that has an away game, I always try to make sure I schedule an extra practice time in for the C team for example, for a Wednesday. So like we have that situation this week. Our middle school A team is going to go away to the British school. That frees up a space in the gym so we can plug the C team in. So we try to not cut if we have to. And I think that's worked out pretty well. One other option we've done before in the past is we've created an intramural lunchtime program, which had its own little season within the season. That's been successful in the past, where we organized the kids into teams and ran different types of competitions and a little season of sorts, culminating with a tournament at lunchtime. So there's a lot of things you can do, but I think ultimately we want to try to include kids as much as possible. Even at the high school level, we can. We did have a big number of kids who tried out for basketball, and we agreed as coaches that, with coaches and myself, that we would make the high school situation more competitive. So we did do selections. We did keep a couple extra kids because there were so many that came out. But that was a situation where in high school, where we simply couldn't carry everybody.
Sure. Yeah. And I guess having an inclusive program doesn't mean at every level on every team, right? There's
it depends on the sport.
Yeah, exactly. And you mentioned A, B, and C teams earlier.
Don't have enough space. Like, for example, soccer, we don't have to worry about it because we got enough field space outside. The other sports, cross country, for volleyball, we can make it happen. Yeah. Just it sometimes just takes a little bit of creativity and the willingness and the coaches and the open-mindedness. And I'm very lucky that my coaches are on board with that and just trying to give kids opportunities, especially coming out of what we've been through the last few years. Yeah. They understand that the opportunities we're getting are special. They're great. And, we don't want to close anybody off from that right now.
Right. Yeah, I think that's it. I think any really international school program has elements of both, right? You have the competitive element and just not a blanket statement of we'll take everybody on whatever team you want to play on. It's no problem. I think that's really hard to do, right? You mentioned field space, all sorts of different reasons.
Personnel. Yeah. But again, it comes back to the relationship building, really. Right. And, and having good lines of communication and honesty and transparency and good nature, right? And doing what's best for kids. So that's important. And instead of everybody's philosophy is different, but I think my philosophy is a little more open-minded towards everything. What can we do to get everybody involved and involved in the program?
Yeah, that's
flexibility is key.
Right. Doesn't always work out, but we're trying. We're trying to get everyone in, and we've had even just last year where we had enough people out to make 3 teams, but then when they didn't get cut. Didn't make the A team and didn't make the B team, then they didn't want to play anymore. So we saw after tryouts, we had this huge number. We're like, okay, we need to get a C coach. We need to find a gym. Okay, we got all that, a stipend ready. And then the kids didn't want to stick around.
I think, you'll run into that too, especially if it's a kid who's older, right? If you have an 8th grader, for example, who wants to be out for basketball, up here, he thinks he's on the A team, but in reality, he's not. But you still want to provide a place for them. Right. That takes conversations with the kids, maybe with the parents, and letting him understand that, there's still a spot for you somewhere. There's a place for you. Yeah. There's a place for everybody, but it's got to take some coaxing sometimes.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that's great. Well, hey, we're competitive. We made some teams, and now we're talking about hosting friendlies or tournaments. And Claudia Araya wrote for this section, and I'll read a little bit of what she wrote. She said that hosting gives your athletes more competition. However, maybe more importantly, an event like one of those will improve the culture around athletics and your school spirit. So, Matt, I know you host a ton. Geez, we come to you with so many teams all the time. You get so many things going on that great big campus. Share a little bit about the impact that hosting these events has on your community.
Yeah, it creates for some happy times for sure, especially if you can get a buzz going and there's an upcoming tournament and the kids and the parents know they have something to look forward to and participate in. So that's what's important, that we can, again, giving those opportunities and creating a culture of spirit with the kids and letting them understand that they're representing the school in a positive way. They get to wear the ASB jersey. That's always exciting. They get to put a basketball uniform on. Like Gil said that earlier video. Yeah, we've had to dig into some old some old uniforms that we have in stock. We have them, but it took a little bit to find them. But we had to find something until we get something else that's a little newer. But all that stuff, I think it makes it exciting for kids. It makes them want to be involved, and whether it's at lunchtime and recess, they're talking about it, and we do a pretty good job. Our social media department does a pretty good job of promoting our events. So we try to put stuff up on the monitors and then the announcements, and just get that buzz going that there's going to be tournaments available. It's going to be exciting. Everybody's been working hard, getting ready for these events, and let's make it happen, and so they can show their stuff.
Yeah, I think coming out of COVID too, not having them for a few years, we just hosted an 8-team varsity boys basketball tournament, and the main day, the Friday, was just unbelievable. It just electric, and from the people that were playing, from the coaches that were just happy to be there, everyone was just so happy. Crowd was packed. We had the mascot out there.
Yeah.
Has it been even better since COVID for you?
In terms of the excitement, it's been great. In terms of better, it's hard to say yet because like we had a swim meet 2 weeks ago. We hosted the Skis Middle School swim meet, and that was a great event. It was great to see all these kids coming. It's almost like everybody's a little not sure what to do in the beginning, like during the opening ceremony. Like I was trying to get everybody hyped up and ready to go. And I think, I had them in their team areas in the gym before we started the swim meet and just kind of going over the logistics, everything. And it was a little quiet. So I wasn't sure they were, just listening and making sure they understood everything, or if they just weren't sure yet. Maybe they hadn't been in a swim meet like this or that kind of environment in a long time, because it's middle school kids and they're either coming up from elementary, or if they're an 8th grader, they haven't ever had really a chance to go away and be a part of a swim meet, So in the end, it was fine. Like we did have some clapping and cheering going on, but it just took a little more of a push, which was funny. But in the end, it was fine. And in terms of being better, it's just good that it's back. I'm not really evaluating good, bad, or indifferent right now. I mean, we have our systems in place. We have our planning in place of how we get everything ready to run these events. And that's been solid. That's been pretty good. We haven't any major snafu, so that's been pretty good. But it's definitely great that we're doing it again.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm worried about what we forget, like the morning of the tournament.
Yeah.
I remember a few things that we wouldn't have forgot. They weren't major, but oh man, we forgot that.
I forgot to get somebody to help me.
Yeah.
At a big basketball festival a couple weekends ago, like I had it all planned out, and then I'm like running all over the place. Like, why didn't I get somebody to help me today? Somebody just cover the gym, or just be on site just in case something goes screwy. But in the end, it was fine. But I made sure that my next tournament, I'm going to make sure I got somebody there to help me out.
Well, we know we're coming to you. We're coming to you that you're going to have baseball, softball, track and field, and tennis all going on the same day. So I'm there if you need some help. Just let me know.
That's on my list. Get somebody to help me.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, we mentioned these tournaments or hosting events in general, but conference tournaments, during the pandemic and now after, I think many conferences around us, especially, have gone through some changes and members and the structure of how they're organized. So I know you're really in the thick of that right now. So how do you feel that the changes will impact the culture of athletics at your school? I think the switching of conferences will be
it's going to be interesting because for us we've always been a major player in the CISA organization, Central Eastern European Schools Association, and we're departing that organization for sports next year. There's a variety of reasons why, and that organization has gone through changes, and our other league we belong to, SKIS, is going through changes. So we've made a move, and so some other schools, to just join one going forward for the time being for end of season tournament. So it's going to be new and exciting and different, because a lot of our kids now who are in high school, in middle school days, the end of the season tournament for them was always a CISA tournament. So the word CISA is still prevalent in our kids' vernacular, I guess, when we're talking about our sports program. And, it's something they've always looked forward to. And so that's not going to be there. So that's going to be different. But we're still going to promote, of course, all the positives they're going to get out of going to the other tournament. It'll be different schools, of course, and new relationships and new opportunities. Luckily, though, there's some cool schools coming along that are like us, that were part of CISA, but will now be part of the new association in SCIS. So we're not alone. There'll be familiar faces. It'll be in the end, it'll be fine, because the quality of the tournaments are going to be great. The experience is going to be great, whether they're traveling or we're hosting. So I'm not really worried about it. I think it's going to be fine. It's just going to be a little different as we go forward. And then for me, it's going to be different because, I'm always used to going to 2 meetings a year for each different organization, and I'm going to have one less to go to. That's going to be odd for me.
Yeah. Have you thought about promotion, like in-house promotion of the new conference, like how you're going to not sell the change, but how you're going to let the community know about it?
You were kind of in the process of doing that, working with my director. We're almost there in terms of like a launch of sorts to promote the new association, or our new full-on association with SCIS. So we're just waiting the directors are meeting, and they're working on some details with league philosophy and structure and some other things. So once that kind of gets nailed down and they have a good grip on the direction they want us to go, and then pretty much just turn it over to us, then we can start ramping up the promotion of this new association, because it's been a lot of work and a lot of changes, and a lot has happened in a short amount of time. So we're still letting the dust kind of settle, but it's all fallen into place. So I would suspect by the springtime we're going to have a full-on launch of what it's going to be, or maybe even before. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, you're still doing both right now, so as long as it's the start of next year, right? But I'm thinking of big banners, things like that.
All over with swag and everything.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, I think we're changing too, right? But we keep the ISST as the top of our pyramid, so it's just a change of words, or they know it. Like people aren't going to be saying, "Hey, where's this?" Where in your school they could be coming back and saying, "Hey, where's CISA?"
Well, and because we're still going to be a part of it for activities, right? So there's going to be that component. But I think once you explain what's happening, it makes sense.
Yeah, great. All right, Matt. Well, look, we got a little deeper in some of those topics for the, from your side, from your absolutely great, well facilitated school over there in Budapest. You do a lot, especially with us. So thanks for sharing those things. I'm sure they're valuable for everybody out there watching. Yeah. And we mentioned a few people. I'm going to throw up my standard graphic to thank those other people that contributed to Chapter 5. So Jim, Gwinyai, Michael, and Cindy, we didn't hear from you today, but thank you so much. And Claudia, of course, I read that quote, and Gil, we all saw you. So thanks to you 6, also contributors to Chapter 5, and everybody else out there from all the past chapters. There's only one more to go. It's the shortest chapter in the book, and then this series will be over, and we'll be staying in Vienna for that one with my boss, Andy Harrison. So look forward to that to wrap up this series. Thanks, Matt.
Hey, thanks again, Nick, and good luck with the book and the promotion and the sales. So hope it goes strong.
Yeah. Getting in more people's hands, spread the word, not just for ADs. A lot of good things in there for people all around the world. So thanks, and see you next time.
All right, thanks, guys. See you.
Thanks for watching and learning with us at SchoolRubric with educators from around the globe. For more access to articles, magazines, podcasts, live episodes, our international school directory, courses, and more, visit us at schoolrubric.org. Thank you.